The dollar's dominance of global trade and investment flows is facing a slew of new threats as more and more countries draft plans to boost the use of alternative currencies. For some time now, nations from China and Russia to India and Brazil have been pushing for settling more trade in non-dollar units, with projects ranging from the use of local currencies to a gold-backed stablecoin and a new BRICS reserve currency. Now, even Europe appears to be jumping on the anti-dollar bandwagon, with French President Emmanuel Macron recently warning against the continent's dependence on the greenback. With movements to undermine the dollar's unipolar supremacy gathering momentum, it comes as no surprise that the buck's status as a reserve currency eroded in 2022 at 10 times the pace seen in the past 2 decades, according to Horizon SLJ Asset Management. Strategists at the asset manager found that the greenback's share of total global reserves fell to 47% last year, from 55% in 2021 and as much as 2/3 in 2003. For decades, the US dollar has reigned supreme as the world's reserve currency and is widely used in cross-border trade, especially for commodities such as oil. Thanks to its relative price stability, investors see it as a safe haven asset in times of heightened economic and geopolitical uncertainty. The dollar was further bolstered last year by a surge in US interest rates that made it attractive to foreign investors seeking higher yields. It surged 17% during the first 9 months of 2022, but has since lost some of its shine on the prospect that the Federal Reserve may soon end its rate hikes as inflation cools rapidly. Against this backdrop come the latest threats to the greenback's reign. Here are a few from across the world that are ultimately aimed at undermining the dollar's supremacy. With French President calling for the demise of the dollar. In an interview with Politico, France's Macron urged that Europe must reduce its dependence on the extraterritoriality of the US dollar. The bombshell remarks came as the president stressed Europe should avoid getting tangled in tensions between China and the US. If the tensions between the two superpowers heat up, we won't have the time nor the resources to finance our strategic autonomy and we will become vassals, he said. His comments came quickly on the heels of a much-watched trade deal between French multi-energy conglomerate Total Energies and China's national oil company CNOOC, the Asian nation's first-ever liquefied natural gas transaction settled in the yuan. China has been looking to weaken the dollar's dominance by pushing for the yuan to replace the greenback in energy deals, given its increased trade with Russia after it invaded Ukraine. At the same time, Malaysia has launched talks with China on forming an Asian monetary fund in a bid to delink from the dollar, according to Bloomberg. There is no reason for Malaysia to continue depending on the dollar, the country's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said earlier this month. He added that Malaysia and China are already in talks to utilize the ringgit and renminbi for trade deals, as more and more countries come together to move away from the dollar. Which country is next to support this new wave of opposition?